Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. Once again, drafting Murders at Karlov Manor, draft number 2 here on the channel, and we are going to dive right into Pack 1, Pick 1 here. And boy, is War Leader's Call an incredible card. We just played Red-White in yesterday's video, got the trophy with it, but holy cow is War Leader's Call good. I mean, well, I've never seen it cast or on the battlefield, but I can just imagine that this card is very, very good. If this weren't in the pack, what would I take here? Let's see. There's a shock. Shock is always good. I mean, it's probably red's best common. Maybe second best behind Galvanize. Who knows? There's a Sanguine Savior here. 3-mana 2/1 flying lifelink with Disguise upside. There's Nervous Gardener. You know, I know it's gold, but I think it's powerful enough that I think it's worth taking with pick number 1 here. And boy, do we got an interesting pick 2. Lots of great cards. Deadly Cover-Up. Shocked someone passed on this. It's a 5-mana board wipe with upside. There are a lot of great board wipes in this set, and this is one of them. There is a Meddling Youths, which is fine, not outstanding. There's a Murder, which is slightly better than fine. Expose the Culprit is a card that I don't feel like reading because of how annoying it is, but there is a Novice Inspector. 1 mana, 1/2, ETBs, Investigate. Goes well with War Leader's Call because it's a creature. So let's take that here. And I do like Fairy Snoop, but it's not one of the disguised creatures in our colors so far. And I do like Fairy Snoop, but it's not one of the disguised creatures that I like so far here. So, well, all right, now I do like Fairy Snoop, but it's not in our colors. Not that we're locked into these colors, but I do like Felonious Rage. There's also Leering Onlooker. I can't pass. It's too early. I don't think I can pass Leering Onlooker for Felonious Rage. As much as I do like this card, I think Leering Onlooker is one of the better uncommons in the set, in my opinion. So I'll take it here and see if we need to move into black for any reason. It doesn't look like we do, as we've got Person of Interest. 4 mana 2/2 is suspected. Makes another 2/2 when it enters. And not really much else. All right, pick 5 and pretty easy Person of Interest here. Let's see what some of these blue cards are. 3 mana. Instants and sorceries build around. Probably not. Eliminate the Impossible. Seems okay. Behind the Mask, no thank you. Criminologist, meh. Dramatic Accusation, fine. But I think it's a pretty easy Person of Interest number 2 for us because we've got War Leader's Call, and we're going to need quite a bit to turn us off of that here. There is a Sanguine Savior, as well as a couple other cards here. Case of the Filched Falcon seems like a fun build around. Probably not for us here, but the Sanguine Savior can be played in red-white, as you can cast this as a face-down creature for 3 and then flip it up for white-white, which is pretty good. It's a little slow, but it's a good enough creature to consider playing in our deck here. So we could also be black-white splashing this, but that means we have to get some good fixing, which we may or may not get here. Got another creature we could play in red-white, but in yesterday's draft, I didn't think I would like Crovad Haunch very much. I actually did. I think this card is pretty good. It's pretty versatile. If you need the equipment, it hits hard, and if you don't need the equipment, you can get a couple life and a couple dogs. So we'll go ahead and take Crovad Haunch here. And what did we wheel? Auspicious Arrival as a combat trick, Hazda Vigilante as a kind of clunky creature, and Unscrupulous Agent. A couple of green cards here. We could take the Agent in the event that we think we're going to go into black-white. I don't think I'm going to miss either of these 2 cards. I'll take that in if black-white does end up being open. But Call a Surprise Witness. Surprised, pun intended, that this did wheel for us. Works very well with something like Novice Inspector. Works very well with Sanguine Savior. Not that that really needs the help. What is Wrench again? +1/+1 Vigilance and can tap creatures. Wrench doesn't seem too bad, but I'll go ahead and take Call a Surprise Witness here. We've got a Snuffler, which I don't think is for us. There is a Suspicious Detonation. I don't think I'm going to miss that. Let's take a Toxin Analysis. I'll take a Make Your Move here. Another doesn't add up. So red isn't particularly open, but it does touch the best card that we have here. So what do we have now? A board wipe, which is kind of awkward in this set because white wants to be pretty aggressive, and wiping the entire board is a powerful thing to do, but maybe not in a deck that's so aggressive. Got Deadly Complication. There is a Scapegoat. There is a Long Goodbye. I think Long Goodbye... Could we be a little bit more of a white-black controlling deck here? We know that red's not very open. Yeah, this is tough. I don't really want to give up on War Leader's Call, but no witnesses is arguably as powerful. See what else we get here. Assemble the players. Look at the top card of your library at any time. Once per turn, can cast a creature with power 2 or less from the top of your library. Not sure that's going to be for us. There is a Wisp Drinker Vampire here, though, which, you know, kind of goes with Assemble the Players. Another Sanguine Savior. And an Innocent Bystander. Gosh, this is a tough draft so far. I feel like I want to hold on to the War Leader's Call, but I don't think that's correct. I think I'm going to take the Wisp Drinker Vampire here and probably look to be black-white. But, I mean, maybe we can find a way to splash this War Leader's Call, but otherwise, I'm not sure. Okay, black-white, a little bit more controlling here. There is a Crowd Control Warden, which could be played in red-white or black-white. There's a 2-mana 2/1. There's a 5-drop creature. Not thrilled with this pack. I think the most likely card is either of these here. Currently have 5 creatures. Guess I'll take the wall. Not thrilled with it. Yeah, look, red is already completely cut here. And there's a Long Goodbye in the pack. What is Consigned to Oblivion? This is from the list. 2 mana, bounce a creature. 5 mana, Mind Rot. Little slow. Repeat Offender. Little slow as well, but we're going to take the Long Goodbye. And another Unscrupulous Agent and another Call a Surprise Witness. I think I'm going to take my second agent here. And I don't know what we're doing about this War Leader's Call. We're going to have to figure that out. I'm not thrilled with the black-white deck I have, but red is so well. Then we get a Perimeter Forcer, an Unscrupulous Agent, and a Persuasive Interrogators. Oh, these are cards I like. I'll take the Enforcer. Very good. Could take Shady Informant. I don't think this card is very good. There is a Due Diligence. That goes pretty well with the Perimeter Enforcer. I don't think I'm going to play this, but I'll take it here. Wow, pick 8 Makeshift Binding. 3 mana, exile target creature and opponent controls till it leaves the battlefield, and you gain 2 life, because why wouldn't you? There's also a Lead Pipe, which could be pretty good, but we're going to take Makeshift Binding here. I guess the only card we could play is Shady Informant here. I think we're pretty locked into black-white at this point. Discards 2 cards. Yeah. What is this one? +1/+0. May mill 2. I don't think that's going to be for us. I guess I should have taken the thinking cap there. Now thinking about it, we do have 4 detectives. Yeah, definitely should have taken the thinking cap, but it's probably not going to come back to haunt us that much. See, got one anyway if I want it. So no fixing yet to find a war leader's call. We're not like super heavy on the creatures, so I don't even know if we would want it. But let's see here. Here is fixing. Search your library for a basic. Put it onto the battlefield. Tapped, then shuffle. There is a Slice from Shadows removal spell. There is a Cease and Desist, of which we can cast both sides. But there is a case of the Stashed Skeleton. 2 mana, 2/1 Suspected. And then if you control no suspected skeletons, you can basically cast Demonic Tutor. And with a card like No Witnesses in your deck, I think this gets better. So I'm going to take this over Slice and Escape Tunnel and see where to go. We've got another fixer here. Is there something better? There is a Fairy Snoop, which can be played in our deck. There's also a Doorkeeper Thrall, 2 mana, 1/2 Flash Flyer that shuts off ETB abilities. Mortipede, no thanks. Vigilante. I think I'll take the Snoop here. We've got Wrench. We've got Coerced to Kill, but again, with no fixing. As good as the card is, I don't think we can take it. There is a Museum Night Watch. I do like that card. There's an Alley Assailant. I don't know if I like that card yet. There's also a Wrench, which with 9 creatures, probably not. I guess I'll take the Assailant. That's a card I haven't played with yet, so I'll keep that one here and at least give it a try. Wow, lots of stuff for us here. There's a Fester Leech, there's a Wrench, there's a Forum Familiar, there's an Inside Source. And an Alley Assailant. I mean, I could play basically any of this. And a Lead Pipe if I didn't say that. Not exactly sure what's best here. I think I'm going to take the Fester Leech. That's a close one. There's a couple of things that could be pretty good there. Alright, I'm going to try out Night Drinker Moroi here. Not sure if this card is good, but I mean, if there's a deck where it would be good, I feel like it would be this one. So we're going to try it out. Push and pull. Destroy a tapped creature. And then also 6 mana. Basically win the game. It seems pretty good for us. Ooh, Market Watch Phantom. 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever another creature power 2 or less enters, gains flying till end of turn. I think that's better than a Griffknot Tracker and a second Sanctuary Wall, so let's take that here. Novice Inspector, pick 8. Do not mind if I do. There's also a Granite Witness, which I could play, but I won't. How's the Vigilante? We will see. Number 2, we will also see. All of the stuff is coming back. I don't think I want a Griffknot Tracker. Maybe I'll play a Wrench. Maybe I'll play a Lead Pipe. How about Candlestick in the Ballroom? Anyone? Lead Pipe in the Manor. What else do we got? Yeah, War Leader's Call, as good as you are. Just red was so cut in this draft. Don't really think that's going to work out. 7 Detectives, which means Thinking Cap could be playable. Depends on where we end up. And Reasonable Doubt. I will now go ahead and build my final version of the deck for you to check out. And here is where I ended up. Got a couple pieces of equipment. We've got, I think, 7 Detectives for the Thinking Cap, which I think makes it worth it. Little bit of removal, not a ton. We do have a board wipe and some pretty good creatures here. I mean, Double Inspector, Savior Snoop, you know, Moroi Vampire. It's not super powerful or anything, but I mean, it's a pretty what I think is going to be a pretty classic black-white deck in the format. So we're going to see if the deck's any good, and I get to waste my gems so you don't have to. See you in game one. All right, let's see how this control aggro deck does in game one. We've got no witnesses. Question is, do we sandbag something like Fester Leech? I don't think so. I mean, we could just not play our creatures and just wipe the board, but then I don't see that as being particularly great for us. We could just smack in for a good amount of damage here. Granted, we are going to have to mill ourselves a good bit, and I don't think we have the synergies for that, but I'll take another land in the yard. It's not too bad early on. They do now have 4 mana. Let's see what they do with it. They play a morph. Sure. I guess I could do that too? Yeah, I'll just hit him for 1, and then... yeah, there goes all of our lands, which is totally fine by me at this point. I don't think we're actually going to be flipping this up, so I think I'm actually just going to play this as a 3/3 that's tapped. Might have to take a bit of damage this turn, but I think this is going to be better for us. They did find a red. They missed a land drop last turn, so... Goblin Mask Maker, sure. And another disguised creature. Okay. Alright, I guess I'm gonna offer some trades here. Sure. So this was the first one they played, and this was the second one they played. I think in the dark you want to put their second one. You want to kill their second one with more priority here. So we're going to do this. And just kill their creatures. And we did hit a Rakish Scoundrel. Most of the time people will want to save their better morph for later, as opposed to running it out earlier, which is why I think I put that one as a priority to kill, but... okay. Now we attack with Fester Leech, cast No Witnesses, and then play Novice Inspector. And if we hit them, we hit them. If we don't, we don't. Okay, get in for a free damage, and I think now we're just going to board wipe here. Got rid of a removal spell and an unscrupulous agent. So they do get to investigate here, but we did wipe the board. So let's hope... they are mana screwed, so they could just have big fat creatures in their hand they can't really do anything with. Red-green is the disguise color, so got a bunch of disguise creatures here. Got a bunch of lands here. How much mana does this take? 5 mana to not lose 3 life? This takes 6 mana? I think I will flip the Fairy Snoop here. I guess I could also just play the Moroi, and the next turn I can do this and do this. Yeah, let's just do both. Obviously no attacks. Currently have 7 lands, 8, 9, 10 lands already. That is a busted card. So whenever one or more face-down creatures they control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. And whenever it dies, you return it back to the battlefield and then flip it up. Okay, draw a card, I guess. This card is so good. Destroy target tapped creature. That doesn't really help me. I can get two... Oh my gosh, look how many Rakish Scoundrels they have. These have Death Touch. I can bring them back. I think I want to use this to kill them at some point here. So let's do this, and then just hit him for 4. And then I think I'm gonna flip this up and draw a card, or cast Push if I feel like I need to. Okay, so now I can block this. Without it hitting me, so they don't draw a card. Now, they might have a combat trick, but I think that's okay with me. Currently have 7 mana. Yeah, I guess I'll take this. It trades off with their 4/4. Okay, that's a 4/2. Sure. That will kill the Fairy Snoop. Let's pass to damage. I could have cast Pull there. I think I need to save Pull for the Yaris. That just seems really good. This is going to cost me 5 mana. Or I guess I... Push. Did I say I could have cast Pull? I would like to give this lifelink. That would be very good. So let's do 1, 2, 3. Cast as this, and then I have to flip it up here. Only costs 2 to flip up. Yeah, that's what I had. That's what I had. Turn it face up. Give the Night Drinker Moroi lifelink. And then... I'm not gonna kill this, obviously. Because it can then kill any of our creatures here. We currently have lethal if they don't have a single answer here. As we have Vigilante, put a counter on this, attack for 7. So they have to do something about our flyers. That's fine. Let's see if they found a land. They did. Don't have murder mana. They could have things like Galvanize. They could have Shock. There's a lot of things they could have here. Casting Pull might also just win somehow. Oh, that's a sorcery. Okay, that's probably still okay. I don't think they're going to kill us from 20 here. So what else do you have? Removal for the Moroi? Sounds like it. Yep, okay. So I think that means we win. We can get 2 3/3s. Or we can get a Moroi and a Fester Leech that can also be pumped to 3 power. I can't get an Ally Assailant because it will enter the battlefield tapped. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. Sure. And then attack, pump this, and that should be lethal. There we go. Alright, push and pull. Pretty good card there at the end. It just kills people out of nowhere. Alright, we're up first this time. Unfortunately, we don't have a great hand, but we do have a Snoop that can at least just be a 2-2. We have a Thinking Cap to start. Due Diligence is not great until we get a second creature, but again, our deck plays a lot of creatures. So we'll just play the Cap, plan to play the Snoop on 3, and then maybe now we play Assailant on 3. We're not really flipping up either of these. I guess if they kill the Assailant, that is a better creature to target with Call of Surprise Witness here. Turns this into a 3/3 flyer. Alright, I guess we'll just attack and play another face down Fairy Snoop. Makes Due Diligence better. Don't want to cast Due Diligence into open mana, obviously, so we'll just play this here, see if it gets countered or something. No? Okay. Probably don't have Shock. Otherwise, I feel they would have shocked at least one of these here. What do they have? Galvanize is what they have. Fairy Snoop to the yard. I could bring back Fairy Snoop. It's just not great to do. Her mana is just so awkward right now. Can't even flip this up. Guess I'll do this. I'm just not thrilled by it. Cold Case Cracker. Yeah, yet again, not the greatest mana situation, but I think I can... I think I'll just do this. That'll open up pretty good attacks for us here. Hit him for 8, down to 8. Unless they want to chump. Can't block that. This has Menace. Alright, go to 8. A land would just be good. We could play Leering Onlooker and equip a Thinking Cap. We could... cast Push if they attack. Don't know if we're going to want to push that, though. No land. Okay. Let's attack, I guess. Not really anything else to do here. Okay. Unfortunately for them, so so you know this for later, this spell can't be countered includes ward abilities, which means they didn't have to pay the ward, but, I mean, it is what it is. So, did I get both stun counters? don't know why that doesn't have a stun. Oh, it does have a stun. It's just not wrapped up for some reason. Who knows? So what do I do here? Leering Onlooker. I could bring back Fairy Snoop. I just don't think that's very good. I could kill their Cold Case Cracker. I just don't know if they're actually going to be attacking with any more creatures here, considering the pressure that we have on them. So that's why I chose to kill their flyer there. I could have saved it up for pull, but we not only need 2 more lands, but we need exactly another swamp too. Do have a board wipe in hand, but we're not in the position where we want to be board wiping necessarily. I wouldn't mind having this go to our yard so we can call a surprise witness on it here, but... Okay, so whenever we sack an artifact, we get dealt 2 damage. Currently no detectives. Really anywhere. I guess this is a detective, but... What if I played this as a disguised creature and flip it up next turn? I could still cast Witness. If I draw a land, I could also equip Thinking Cap. That gives a 4-powered creature lifelink. It also protects it a little bit with the ward here, so let's do that. Go here, put him to 7. Now our creatures untap. We kind of have the trump card in hand here with no witnesses, so if things go horribly wrong on board and they are somehow able to completely stabilize and wipe our board somehow, we can come back a little bit, more than likely. Sacking clues is usually a good sign when we are this ahead. Usually a good sign for us, not for them. Projector Inspector. Spelled with a K. So they just discarded Unauthorized Exit, is that correct? It's a pretty good answer. I mean, it's a really good answer to Skeleton. It just means we would get to Demonic Tutor. No blocks, I guess. Okay, so let's do... I guess we can go over here. Wondering if they have Galvanize or something. Try to give it here. Let's see if they go to kill it now with Galvanize. That's what I expect to happen. Close enough. They had another one in hand. We do get to solve this on end step. And then cast Demonic Tutor next turn. They are currently dead on board here. Can call a surprise witness the Alley Assailant. Okay, now they're not dead on board. Another Out Cold. Dramatic Accusation. Okay, things are things are happening. Hostile Vigilante is actually quite good here. You can put it on the onlooker, then they have to chump with the cracker. That's such a weird sentence. They have to chump with the cracker. It is a thing, though. It blocks these two as well. Alright, so chump with that. They have a lot of mana. They can crack their clues and see if they can find answers to the Vigilante here. More detectives will let them loot with the Inspector. There's a ward creature. Or a mysterious creature, a face-down creature, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if I'll get this by the end of the format. You call it a disguise creature, technically, but still just doesn't feel great to do that. Alright, so clearly they have to have an answer to Leering Onlooker here. I mean, there's not much else to it. That's a great answer. Yeah, sure. Definitely like Exit Specialist as a card. Sure. Kind of constrained by black mana here. I don't know if I really want to be casting Demonic Tutor or not. I think I'm just going to Leering Onlooker and call Surprise Witness on Alley Assailant. That seems pretty good. I mean, this is lethal now. Could also just cast this. Or, I mean, I guess I could do this and get a Swamp. And then also cast Onlooker? That, I don't know. That doesn't seem particularly great, though. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to play this here. Okay, sack a clue. They have to have an answer to the Alley Assailant, but they do have 4 cards to do it with, including sacrificing the clue for another look at a card that could deal with this. Pyrotechnic Performer. Currently just a 3/2. But if something else gets turned face up, as they have here, then it can deal damage to us. Alright, I guess we see if they have an answer to this. I think I might keep the Leering Onlooker back, because, I mean, obviously they have something. This is either going to kill them, or it won't? What else could I do? I could attack with both. They're probably going to deal with that. This will be tapped. We're going to be at lower life, because this is going to flip and deal potentially as much as 3 damage to us. We're not going to kill them this turn. We're going to have to try to at least try to kill them next turn. I could also just board wipe here and then play a Fester Leech, which is also lethal. A lot of options here. So I could attack with both, and then play No Witnesses, and then play Fester Leech. I could attack with this, hold this back. I'm putting us at like at least 3 life right now because of this combination. I think I like board wiping, which is strange, but let's see. Mechathopter, there you go. There we are at 3 life. So we'll do this, and now Fester Leech is lethal. Granted, they have made so many clues that they have plenty of shots at an answer here. Really close game. Win or lose, this has been tight back and forth. Of course, they find 3 creatures off the top of their deck, all of which are notably lethal here. Together. And a land, sure, okay. Okay, well they have to block Fester Leech, so that's good news for us. So I can equip Fester Leech here and still threaten. They're just going to chump with a 1/1. And then I play Perimeter Enforcer, which can still block. Or I attack with this, I pump it, I play Perimeter Enforcer and equip the Enforcer here. Gets rid of one of their 1/1s. I think I like that a little bit better. So let's attack. They block with 1. We pump it here. We play Enforcer, we equip Enforcer because it is a detective. This is also a detective, which will pump Enforcer next turn. Now, notably, again, they have so many access to so many cards here because of all these clues. So they have 3 cards in hand, effectively. Hopefully no answer to the Enforcer. There's an answer to the Enforcer. I don't know what we could find with this, but I'm gonna find out and see if they have priority here. I could also just play the bats. Oh, man, so many options. If they don't have priority, this wins. Okay. So then we get Makeshift Binding. No, because then we can't pump it. So we get... No, we can't get Long Goodbye. Oh, we don't win. I'd like to get a 2-drop so I can also pump that. I don't want it to be a black 2-drop. Guess I can get Market Watch Phantom here. Pump this, eat that, play Market Watch Phantom, and hope I don't die to a 1/1 Thopter. Gosh, this is really tough. 1 mana too short of winning there because we needed to be able to pump this and get rid of their creatures, so... Let's see what they found. There's gotta have been a way I could have played this game better here. There's so many different lines I could have taken all of the time. Down goes Phantom. I'm just going to equip, force them to chump here, and then play the bats off of the Leering Onlooker. I know they've got a land left in hand, so I don't really care about that. So let's just get these and pray they don't have some sort of haste creature. Looks like they don't. Alright. Really tough battle back and forth there. Managed to get it. Maybe there was a way I could have won earlier. There might have been a Miss Lethal I had in there, but that was tough. Definitely tough. Alright, starting on the play here in Game 3 with Agent on 2, Snoop on 3, flip it up. Got Due Diligence here. No reason not to keep the hand here. Yeah, I was really hoping to not see a Gleaming Gear Drake, unfortunately. I saw them play Mountain Island, and that was the card I thought of, so... Let's see if we can find our removal before it comes to killing us. Okay, so they got rid of their protection spell. +2/+2. As long as it's a detective you control. Okay, that's not the hexproof one, never mind. How about more lands? Would you like more lands? Those are things I can give you. Alright, get on in there. And this cost 3 to flip up. Might just be what we're doing next turn because I don't really have anything else. Well, this will eat their red herring, which is pretty good. It would delay me flipping up the Snoop, but it gives both of them vigilance. So what if I did... Yeah, I think I'll do this here. This will also blank their Gear Drake. Man, Due Diligence just hits for a lot of damage. They have no card in the set that I know of that can kill this through Ward 2. Maybe they can cast a combat trick on their red herring, which wouldn't be great, but, I mean... Alright, there's some cards. More colors now. See if they sacrifice their herring. Looks like they will. Turn that into a 3/3. And likely hit us, yeah. Makeshift Binding. I think I'd rather turn up the Fairy Snoop here. So let's attack both. It's got Vigilance, so we can theoretically eat their Gleaming Gear Drake. Okay, they do have effectively 2 mana to pay through the ward on the Snoop here. Let's see if... Okay, that's a good combo with the Gear Drake, but let's see if they attack into it here. Yeah, makes sense. Let's go ahead and turn it face up. Eat it. That way they don't get to sacrifice it. And I think I'll play Perimeter Enforcer. Do I want to Makeshift Binding now? Both of these are pretty good. I'll do this first. I'm sure they won't block. They'll go to 4. I'll play Perimeter Enforcer. And then the question is, do I play the Makeshift Binding here? I mean, they're dead next turn, so... yeah? I know I could wait on the Novice Inspector and get an extra trigger on this next turn, but... either they can kill the Fairy Snoop or they can't, basically, is how this is going to go. And if they can't, then I'll just hit them with this and bring it back. There you go. Looks like they can get rid of the Fairy Snoop. Oh, hello there. What else could I get? I guess just a Novice Inspector at this point. Okay. I can call a Surprise Witness the Novice Inspector. That's not bad. Pumps this for 1. Becomes a flyer as well. Let's start actually by drawing a card here and see what we can hit. Okay, that's fine. So, is that a detective? It is a detective. Not too bad. Let's do this. Investigate, get a trigger. Play Market Watt Phantom, get another trigger. And hit them down to 3. Probably have lethal one way or another next turn, although it does depend on what they play, obviously. Pyrotechnic Performer, got a 3-2. And down goes Enforcer. So I can do this and still cast Pull here. Don't need another land. I can get Red Herring, or I can get Perimeter Enforcer. Are either of those lethal? So if I get Enforcer, they block, take 1, 2, and 3. So that should be lethal here. Yep. Well, if I get Red Herring, they block this, block that, take 1, 2, 3. That also does it. So they'll block this, they'll block that, and then at this point they'll take 4. So, man, push and pull has been good. They cast it there too, and it removed a creature, so good enough. All right, we go first. Again, we've got quite the curve here. Fester Leech into Enforcer into Inspector. Investigate, crack the clue, get the trigger here. Then we'll need some help, but should be okay. So let's do this. The unfortunate thing about Fester Leech is that it's not a May. You have to mill the cards, and get rid of our board wipe. See if Enforcer does indeed survive here, or if it does not. Well, it does. But they've also got one now, too. I guess here's a little combo. Fester Leech and Pull. Not a great combo, but I mean, a combo nonetheless. Okay, down goes Enforcer, it looks like. I do think I'm going to push their Enforcer. It's just a really good card, especially in blue-white. This is going to hit for so much damage over the course of this game that I think I am just going to push it here now. What do they get rid of? That 2/1? Yeah, Automaton. That is one of our better creatures there. Seasoned Consultant, yeah. Ooh, that's a draw. Let's play this. And then equip the Inspector and attack with these two here. Pump this, they take 6 down to 7, unless they have some sort of interaction in their hand. Looks like they don't. They might just shuffle away our Enforcer here. Down goes Alley Assailant. Still have a clue on the board. See what else they got. This deck does lack a little bit of card draw. The Novice Inspectors do a lot of work in that respect, because we are already out of cards in hand. Getting rid of... Yeah, that's fine. Sure, they'll trade that off. We'll pump this again. Hope we don't mill ourselves by the time this this game ends here. And I guess I'll just move this over here for now. Still 4 cards in hand over there. This can attack as a 5/3. Now it's dead. Okay, let's just cast this and then move the haunch over to it. And they just continue to have answers to these threats that we draw. This is also a 4/1 flying lifelinker now. Pretty darn good threat if you ask me. That's a flyer. They can exile many a cards from our graveyard. Oh, hello. What can you get? Novice Inspector. Alley Assailant. Novice Inspector is going to be pretty good as a flyer here. So why don't we just trade? Could also get the Sanguine Savior back, but I'd like a little bit more card draw. So let's let this happen. Gain a bunch of life. Get the Novice Inspector back. It has flying. equip this here. And because we have so much stuff to do with our mana, I'm just going to play the land here. Because we've got the clue, we've got the equipment, we've got life gain, all that kind of stuff. Prime Stopper Sprite. Yet another flyer. Alright. I guess we're just equipping Inspector and hope it continues to survive. Could also get rid of Crovad Haunch for 2 dogs, but the dogs... I mean, we do have Thinking Cap, so the dogs could actually be okay. Why are they attacking? Do they have a board wipe here? Or a way to untap that? That's suspicious. But I can't not attack, so, I mean... Oh, they've got a way to tap it down. Okay. Sure. If they don't play another creature, I think I will sacrifice the Haunch for the dog tokens here. But if they play like an X3 or something, then I kind of can't do that. Because I'd be relying on the dogs being 2/3s with the help of a Thinking Cap. Sure. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Let's move this on over here and get to beaten down. Oh, it looks like they're going to bounce it or something. Okay, down goes Doggo. They're drawing all of the answers, that's for sure. Now, which creature do I equip? I think I'm actually going to equip... the Inspector. This still blocks that this turn if I want it to. I feel like they've had infinite cards in hand. Like, they've used all of their interaction and still have cards in hand here somehow. Sure, more removal, I guess. And the good kind that doesn't put this into our graveyard. Ooh, that's pretty good. Let's do that. Put it on the dog here. And then attack with both, I think. Sure. And now both of these are lethal next turn because we're attacking with a 4/4 that puts a counter on a 2/4 flyer. But if they get rid of the Vigilante, they're no longer at the threat of dying. Looks like they have some sort of collect evidence spell. Well, kind of. Sure. They chose not to collect evidence there? It's a little awkward. What else do you have? Currently dead. Let's see if they have interaction. They do not. Alright, man, what a game. Just back and forth. I mean, we had them on the heels the entire game. They drew interactive spell after interactive spell over and over and over, but managed to get through. Well, looky here at this curve. Novice Inspector into Agent, into Assailant, into Wisp Drinker Vampire. Couldn't really ask for anything better than that, to be honest. We're getting rid of a lot of our 1s and 2s and stuff that the vampire could ping off of, but that's not really worth holding on to for now. Would I rather play the Market Watch Phantom here? Yeah, probably so at this point. The Neighborhood Guardian is a good card. 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever another creature power 2 or less ETBs under their control, it gives something +1/+1 until end of turn. And a Lightning Helix. Yeah, these are good things for them, not for us. Yeah, I'm just gonna play this as a 3/3. Better chance it trades off with their 2/2 that could become a 3/3 here. Red Herring. I've seen a lot of Red Herrings. They are being very aggressive. Okay. Let's just, I'm not going to block with Novice Inspector, so we'll just get in there with that. We can hold the Alley Assailant back so the Red Herring doesn't really do much anymore. We now have 2 creatures that can block it. Granted, they could have a combat trick, but I mean, so could anyone. If they sack the herring, that tells me they do not have a trick. If they attack with it, then they do. Simple enough. I hope it's not the +2/+2 in Vigilance. That also gives this +2 and +2 in Vigilance till end of turn. What is that card? We were just playing with it. Can't even remember the name already. That would not be great for us. Alright, in comes the Red Herring. I guess we'll trade Assailant for a combat trick here. Or just force them to sacrifice it. Alright, called their bluff. And it worked out. 3 mana, no play, and a land. Alright, what can we find? Do we have any double white or double black in the deck? We have a couple double black flip cards. I can't think of anything necessarily. It's pretty good. So let's do this and Fester Leech, and then we can attack with both of these here. They don't have anything for 3 mana. Interesting. Got another land in hand. And so do we. We got 2 of them. Gonna need to draw some non-lands here. Another Novice Inspector would be pretty good. Removal spell is fine. We got some draws we can have. Hazda Vigilante. I do not like that. don't think I can block here. I would have to triple block. And I would like to hold up Fester Leech activation to trade with things like this. Karlov Haunch. Yeah, I said it got some good draws, and these are those good draws. So how do I do this now? If I equip it to the Fester Leech, then I have attacks with that and the Vampire here. I think for that reason I'll do it this way. See if they want to trade with the Fester Leech or not. I got a couple of pretty good chump blockers here, so let's hope we hit a couple lands. How about no? How about a couple of pretty darn good cards in this situation? We'll mill the 2 good cards and then draw the land. How about that? Close game here. I don't know who I would consider to be ahead. I think it's still them. They've got 3 cards in hand. They keep looking at this thing like they're trying to kill it. We have a lot of creatures, but not a lot of ways to push through these cards. I think it all depends on what's in their hand, which we can't really know. Sacrificing the Karlov Haunch, interestingly, can get two pings off of the Wisp Drinker Vampire, and actually we do have the mana to activate this next turn. So we'd give these 2 things Death Touch and Lifelink, as well as this. That'd be 4 points of Lifelink next turn. I don't like that. Gosh. This would be 7 points of damage. I didn't see that they got priority here, so I guess I'm just going to no blocks, and I have Death Touch Lifelink coming, potentially, if I need it. Let's see what their follow-up is. Do they have a board wipe here? That would not be good. No, they do have a removal spell, though, for the Vampire. Yep. And case killing Fester Leech more than likely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And of course, the makeshift binding perfectly put them out of range here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can still sacrifice the Haunch here, so I'm wondering if we just leave back Novice and Spectre, because we're also not dead to removal. They would have to have removal and a creature, which would then pump up a Neighborhood Guard, a creature power 2 or less, and removal for us to die. So if I do this, we can plant a chump. They're going to be at 2 here. So they have to have creature power 2 or less and removal for this to go wrong for us. obviously chumping. Let's see if they've got... Sure, that isn't going to do exactly what you want it to do, unfortunately. Unless they've got +3 somehow? Can they give this trample? They are dead currently. Alright, nothing else we can do, but hope this works. Awesome. Alright, so on board, not really a trick, just early days of the format. You know, sometimes you miss those small little things, but we'll take advantage of those when they happen. Alright, up first again, got 2-drop into 3-drop with removal spell backup. Keepable hand, got both colors of mana here, and they have a frantic scapegoat. Alright, in it comes. That seems pretty good. I'll do that. Got a 2/1 menace, can't block. Next turn we can play this as a disguised creature. The following turn, turn it up and play an unscrupulous agent. They are going to be pretty aggressive here, it looks like. So let's do this. This can give this lifelink next turn. It can also attack as a lifelinker, which is going to be quite good against red-white aggro here. Oh no, missed match basics. Makes me go crazy. But to each their own. It's their deck, not mine. Do they have another haste creature? No, but they have a due diligence, which hits us for 6. Okay, come on, lifelink. Oof. Not to mention, now we can't flip, so I have to get rid of this scapegoat, basically. And then can't really, I mean, I could attack here, but they're just going to bounce it. So I'm not going to do that. Just play the Fester Leech. And then now we can plan to do that same plan next turn here. We could also kind of throw this away at any point so we can Demonic Tutor for our board wipe. Ah, Harry Dronesmith, they're doing some good things, that's for sure. So I can throw away the skeleton so that I can tutor here. They might just not even want to block it, considering I've got priority and stuff, and it's kind of a weird attack. So let's do this. Now we gain 4 life, which is going to be pretty big. And now the question is, do we play Unscrupulous Agent or just hold up Fester Leech? Can't block this. This has Menace, but we could block this. I think I'm just going to hold up Fester Leech activation here. I just don't think this does much right now. That means they can attack with both of these creatures if I were to play that, which is not good for us. Goblin Mask Maker. Sure. Phantom. Alright, they're playing red, white, go wide here. That's for sure. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst either. Alright, at this point, I don't think this thing is getting in many more times, so I'm just gonna chump attack with it and see what their response is here. If they even choose to block it. They might not want to kill it, considering we can tutor here. Yeah, that's what I thought they'd be doing, unfortunately. Well, I mean, we kind of just have to soak up as much damage. We're at 18, though, so, like... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right now. Probably have a trick for this. Really hope it's not... What if it's +2/+1? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And if I block this, then this creature survives, and I take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Well, that's not 18. And then I technically have lethal on the backswing. So they, if that's the card, they can't cast it like this. Let's see what it actually is here. Okay, go to 10. All their creatures are tapped. Another Market Watch Phantom, sure. And a disguise creature, alright. So let's get their last card for sure. In case it is +2/+1 to everything. That's exactly what it was. I read it perfectly. On the job was the card. Go to combat, attack with at least these two. I could attack here as well, I guess. Yeah, if they don't block, I win because I have Perimeter Enforcer now. So let's get in here. They kind of have to double block my skeleton at this point. Don't really have much of a choice. Do I get rid of the Phantom or do I get rid of the Morph card? Or the Disguise card? That's close. Oh, never mind. We just win. Alright. We'll take it. Tough game there, but we read them for on the job and worked out in our favor. Alright, once again, get to go first. Got a couple of good 2-drops. We get to pick which one we want to do here. We will start this. And I don't do this too often, but if you are still here and appreciating the draft content, A quick subscription would go a long way in helping out the channel. It's absolutely free for you, kind of curates your subscription feed. You get to check out all the 7 videos per week that I will be dropping here on the channel. And I also do have a Patreon with a link in the description if you very much appreciate the content on the channel. You can check out the rewards you can receive by checking out the Daily Draft Patreon with a link in the description as well. What do we start with here? Man, Perimeter Enforcer Due Diligence is going to be a beating. All of these are good is the thing. This is the biggest clock, I guess. I guess I'll start here. Got a 2-1 Menace. Get to attack with that for at least a couple of turns here, probably. Really hope to hit some land drops going forward. Reckless Detective. There we go. Got the land drop. Whenever it attacks, you can sacrifice an artifact, discard a card, then you draw a card, get +2/+0. I think the most mana efficient thing for us to do is just to play this as a disguised creature. That opens up the option for playing Due Diligence next turn. If we miss the land drop, if we hit a land drop, we can play Vampire and then do these next turn. Got a bunch of options here. I'm sure they will rummage. There they go. Won't block here. We can't flip up the Snoop yet. We don't have double black. Projector Inspector. Sure. There's a land drop. So I think we're just going to offer this trade here and play a Wisp Drinker Vampire, and then we're kind of just basically good to go from here, assuming they don't have removal, which is a big assumption, but if they attack, do I block? Guess it depends on how much mana they have. If they have 4, I don't think I'm gonna do it. Just don't want to expose the vampire to some sort of combat trick or something. Harried Drone Smith, sure. Oh, that's a cute combo. Now I'll block. Okay, I see what you're doing. All right, well let's just play a couple flyers here, and the next turn we play Novice Inspector, get the pump here, and play Due Diligence on some things. Have some enormously good attacks. They go to 10, and we're gonna have an extra 4 points of damage coming their way next turn. Really hope they don't leave mana open. That would make Due Diligence a lot worse. I think I will block their detective with my 1/3 though. I would also block the Thopter with the 1/3. If they want to use combat tricks to deal with this, that's totally fine by me. That is a fancy Thopter. Okay, no attacks. Gearbane Orangutan. A 4/4 reach. Okay. Let's start here, and then how do we do due diligence now is the question. Can make this a 4/6, which perpetually gets through this thing and then make this a 4/4 attack with both. I could even attack with the 2/1. Then they're probably going to trade Orangutan for Enforcer and then eat the 2/1. So definitely doing this, and then when it comes to the skeleton... No, I don't think I will. I think I'll just do... This is kind of free too. If they want to eat my Leering Onlooker and take 4, I would be totally okay with that. So this is kind of free. So let's do this. I expect them to trade with the Enforcer, which is what they did. We'll go up to 25. Okay. Now, if Wisp Drinker Vampire dies, that is not great for us. Okay, no plays. Interesting. This destroys a tapped creature, right? Yeah, so... Let's get a card out of their hand, make them make a decision sooner rather than later here. It also pings them. Got rid of the 4 mana 2/2 plus a 2/2. I guess I'm just attacking with Leering Onlooker and not the skeleton. I think I'm going to crack the Clue main phase here, because if I hit a land this turn and next turn, I can cast Pull, which would basically win next turn. So let's see if I hit the land. No. Okay. They are still at 2, though. And currently have lethal with Fester Leech off of the Vampire and the Onlooker for 1. But they can get rid of the Vampire in response to us casting a 1 drop. So, not over, but let's see what we got. Okay, getting a little desperate here. They're probably just trying to find free ways to draw cards, I'm assuming, so that they can find an answer. I will go ahead and just take 2. See what else they got. Okay, probably keeping this tapped. Nope, keeping the Menace creature tapped. That also makes sense. And now I just don't have any attacks, unfortunately. They're obviously going to shuffle away the Vampire here. I just don't have an attack, so... Let's do this. They'll shuffle away Vampire. And then I could kill their detective. That just doesn't seem relevant. So then the question is, do I play Fester Leech or do I wait a turn so I can give this flying next turn? I think I play Fester Leech because it is a good attacker on this board. They are at 2 and we have... I guess I could put them to 1. They would eat it and eat it, go to 1. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of 7 attackers. I have 6, but this has Menace. And unfortunately, I'm a little far away from pull, but if our life total stays here, then if we draw 2 swamps, the game is basically over. Got a red herring over here. And a snoop and an enforcer over here, yeah. Okay, drawing another card. I'll soak up some damage here. Okay, down goes Phantom. There's a disguised creature. There's a card we can't cast. Okay, so block with 2. All right, they're technically dead unless they have something crazy with their last card here. So, or something crazy with this. So let's get in. Okay. Alright, you're currently dead, so you have to do something. Can you get rid of the skeleton? The answer is yes. That was not the greatest for us. So let's save the Fester Leech. And at this point, with all these missed land drops, do I just kill their Reckless Detective? Because this draws a card every single turn. The Fester Leech is a good attacker currently. We will solve the case, which means next turn we could Demonic Tutor. Gleaming Gear Drake, that is another good one. It can become a 3/3 now. Actually, it's going to be a 4/4. So I still can't attack now with Fester Leech because their Gleaming Gear Drake can turn into a 4/4. However, that, my friends, is a card. Do I just wait on it, though, is the problem. Because if I cast it now, they're going to draw 2 cards and make a 4/4 flyer, which is all pretty bad for me. So I think I'm going to do this. See what I can find here. Really nothing good. Got Long Goodbye, which would be a good answer. I've got Makeshift Binding, which is a fine answer. I just choked on mana. What does Call a Surprise Witness get me? Nothing great. I'm going to take the binding and then probably next turn cast No Witnesses, and then when they eventually sacrifice this, use the binding on the 4/4 flyer. Because now they have tons of cards in hand. Really hope they overextend with all their cards here. Mm-hmm. This is going to flip to... Man, we got so close. It's not over yet, but gosh, we got so close. Still choked on mana, huh? So they get to investigate again off of No Witnesses, but I think we have to cast it now. Because we're taking 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 next turn. 12, yeah. And now we have a binding and a long goodbye for a potential 4/4 flyer. They do have 2 more clues here, though. And an extra card. So they've got 3 more cards. Technically 2, so 5 cards in hand, kind of. Okay, there's the bird. Two copies of Fuss and Bother. Look at that. There you go. 3 1/1 flyers. Now they're at 1. Can we figure out a way to get through here? Come on. Man. This Leering Onlooker flashback is going to be good. It's just, we still don't have a second swamp. Okay, well, it's got to be makeshift binding, unfortunately. $19 cards, 4 lands. Curious Inquiry. Draw or investigate. They have 8 cards left in deck, notably. I kind of have to kill this thing. Yeah. They will kill our disguised creature here. I think I'm going to long goodbye their 2/2. And then we hope to draw a swamp? Worst card we could have drawn there. Here comes a counterspell. They thought about countering the long goodbye, but it can't be countered, so I'm assuming they have reasonable doubt. There it is. And we need a swamp, basically. Second worst card we could draw in the entire deck. Another Plains. Alright, we're dead next turn now. We were at like 30 something, and they were at 1. And we're about to lose this here. Oh, they're tapped as well. That's just a frustrating game, man. Very, very frustrating. Alright, the absolute perfect hand with no cards that we can cast. So we will send that back and I guess get rid of Fairy Snoop here. Can play Novice Inspector turn 2, Thinking Cap, equip it. Hopefully we have better luck in this game than we did in the last one. I don't often have 7 zeros. A full clean sweep, a 7-0. Last game should have been it, but boy did we just draw literally the worst we possibly could have for about 2 or 3 turns there, so. Does not feel good. Don't need another Plains. I just don't. Inside Source. That's a good one. Guess I'll get in and cast a Morph here. How much does this cost? 2 mana? No, 1 mana to put a counter on something? I guess they could put the counter on the 2/2 and then also use Inside Source, hit us for 5 with Vigilance. That would be pretty good. Makeshift Binding would kind of make that not great for them, but looks like that is what they're going for. Don't know if they'll use Inside Source on it, though. Looks like they're trying to. It's just sorcery only. Sanguine Savior. I can't flip this up. I think I'd like to get my creatures down. That way next turn I can flip this up and cast Makeshift Binding here, so I guess I'll offer the trade with this thing since I can't even flip it up anyway. See if they decide to trade. They do have priority, so they could... Oh, they've got +3/+3 here. Okay. Sure. Disguise yourself. Put the counter on... Nope, flip it up. Reveal it, get a land. Let's see if they also choose to get a green and put a counter here, or if they need another color. Alright, that'll be good for makeshift binding. Now they don't have a lot going for them anymore. Once we get rid of this here. That's pretty good as well with what is going to be our 2-1 flying lifelinker. So let's do this here, get rid of their 4-4. Turn this face up. Give it to that. And attack with both for lifelink here. Go back up to 18. Lots of chump blocking over there, but okay, sure. Maybe they have a big old 6/6 that I probably won't be able to deal with in their hand or something. Does Topiary Panther have reach? I hope it doesn't, because we're kind of on Sanguine Savior or bust here. Tunnel Tipster, that's fine. Okay, so something we can do is go all in on Sanguine Savior here. So we do this, and do we also re-equip the Thinking Cap, make it a 5/3 flyer? Yeah. Why not? We can still attack with Novice Inspector as well. And if they kill the Sanguine Savior, it just costs 3 mana to equip both of these onto the Inspector. So that's not too bad. But I do think it's Sanguine Savior basically or bust here. Alright, Disguise and... Still have 3 mana. Flip it up. Another Nervous Gardener. Find a land. Ah, they found the answer. Okay. Good for you. Put this here. Equip this here. Get in for 4 and then play a Leering Onlooker. It's another situation kind of like last game where we're kind of just running out of gas and they are not, which is not a good spot to be in. Okay, they can still crack that clue with the Tunnel Tipster. It becomes a 3/3. Might have to move all this equipment over here and Leering Onlooker or bust now. They have 1 turn to find an answer to this. Not great there. So 1, 2, 3... It's not a detective, so... Equip 3 over here. equip 2 over here. And now 2-turn clock, I guess. I'm not going to re-equip this, only because if the onlooker dies... Well, could have put it over here, but I might need all my mana to like crack some clues and equip things around next turn. If this does die. And if it didn't die, then I would have to use 3 mana to re-equip it, because I do want this to be a 4-powered creature for next turn. So it would cost me an extra 3 mana to do it that way if it did not die. So that's why I didn't move it over. Whoa. They all get trampled too, right? Yeah. It's a big old card there. Alright, just gotta hope I don't die. This is 9 plus 6 is 15. Just gotta hope they don't have some stupid combat trick here. I don't know what they could have, but can you deal with this or not? The answer seems to be no. Alright, got that trophy anyway. 7-1. Really wanted that 7-0, but got the 7-1 back into Platinum. We'll see if we can make a run toward Mythic this season. Going to be drafting a ton here on the channel. 5 days a week, Premier drafts. AI deck build, Historic Brawl on Saturdays, and Wildcard Sundays. Gonna be a good time. These drafts are taking a little bit longer than I thought they kind of would. We're playing a little bit of aggressive decks and kind of going all the way to the time here, but 2 trophies, 2 drafts, gotta love it. See you next time for your daily draft.